Good morning, my dear students.
Good morning, Dr. Science.
Our lesson today is talking about Unit 1, Physical Quantities and Measuring Units. Chapter 1, Physical Measurements. And now, what is the measurement? Measurement, it's the process of comparing an unknown quantity with another quantity of its kind, which called the unit of measurement, to find how many times the first includes the second. And now, let's talk about the elements of measurement. The elements of measurements are 1. Physical quantities, and 2. Measuring tools, and 3. Measuring units. And now, we will talk about the physical quantities, which are needed to be measured. Physical quantities can be divided into two types, which are 1. Fundamental or basic physical quantities, and 2. Derived physical quantities. The fundamental physical quantities are physical quantities that cannot be defined in terms of other physical quantities, such as mass, time, and length. While the derived physical quantities, they are physical quantities that can be defined in terms of other physical quantities, such as speed, acceleration, volume, force, energy. As we see at that example, the volume of that cuboid equals L1 times L2 times L3.
So we can say that the volume is derived from the length.
Yes, very good. Now we can say that the volume is derived from the length. And now, let's talk about the measuring tools. Man in ancient ages used his body such as arm, hand, span, and foot as tools to measure length. Also, he used natural phenomena as tools of measurement, such as the sunrise, the sunset, and the moon phases, to measure time. But the used measuring tools depend on the physical quantity to be measured, as in measuring length. We can use the ruler in measuring small length, and also we can use the meter tape to measure the long length, and we can use vernier caliper in measuring very small length or radius. And also we can use the micrometer in measuring the radius of very small sphere. Also, there are some measuring tools for measuring the mass. In old ages, they used the Roman scale to measure the mass. Now we can use the beam balance in measuring the mass. And also we can use the analog scale and the digital scale in measuring the mass. The time also has many measuring tools. In ancient times, man used the hourglass to measure the time. And then, we used the clock, and stopwatch, and of course, the digital watch. Now, we will talk about the third element of measurement, which is the measuring units. There's a number of systems to specify the measuring units of the fundamental physical quantities. The first system was the French or Gaussian system, and the second system was the British system, and the third system was the metric system. Then, the scientists decided to put the international system, or as they call, modern metric system. As we see, the French system can measure the length in the unit of centimeter, and the mass in the unit of gram, and the time in the unit of second, so we can call it CGS system. And the British system can measure the length in the unit of foot, and the mass in the unit of pound, and the time in the unit of second, so we can call it FPS system. And the metric system can measure the length in the unit of meter, and the mass in the unit of kilogram, and the time in the unit of second, so we can call it MKS system. So, who can tell me what is the common unit in the three systems?
The time in second is the common in the three systems.
Yes, very good. The time in second is the common in the three systems. Then, the scientists decided to add 6 other fundamental units to the international system to become 9 units, which are the ampere as the measuring unit of the electric current intensity, the Kelvin as the measuring unit of the absolute temperature, the mole as the measuring unit of the amount of material, the quintilla as the measuring unit of the luminous intensity, the radian as the measuring unit of the angle measure, and the steradian as the measuring unit of the solid angle measure. I hope you all enjoyed our lesson today. See you at next lesson. Mr. Muhammad Kamal El-Din was with you, Dr. Science.